I have no idea if the stream already started. I think I hit live a little early there. But what is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of F1 Fantasy Pole Position. It is Wednesday, October 15th. My name is Ewan, and on today's episode, I will be answering all of your questions for F1 Fantasy before the United States Grand Prix in Austin, Texas at Circuit of the Americas. Hopefully everyone is doing well. Let me know what everyone is up to in the chat. And yeah, we are back. I kind of was like surprised the last time that I had done one of these was before the Italian Grand Prix, which I guess I only missed Azerbaijan and Singapore, but that still feels like a long time ago. So I am happy to be back talking F1 Fantasy with all of y'all. I have a poll up right now. Do you plan to play the Extra DRS chip in Coda? 36% right now saying yes. 64% saying no right now. So there we go. What is up? Let's go check in the chat. Sammy's in the chat. Benod's is in the chat. Benod's asking a very important question here. A quick question for you, Ewan. It doesn't matter if I sign up for Patreon versus joining the YouTube membership. Is there really any difference? No, they are not any different. The only thing is that I think one person has signed up from Patreon and they haven't really been asking me any questions, but I guess if you sign up via Patreon, I will have to figure out how to post the episodes early. If you're on YouTube, the YouTube membership, you'll get like little badges next to your name in the chat, and I post the videos, my pre-recorded videos, about 3 to 6 hours before they go live to the public on YouTube. So it might be easier to go via YouTube for you, but Patreon, same thing. Let me know if you do join Benod's, and I will get you set up, because right now there is one member. So we need to get that going a little bit, and then we'll figure it out from there. But I appreciate you asking out. Let's see. Nicholas says, open YouTube, click stream, snacks, ready, drinks. Say hello to you, and hi, you, and how are you? I am great, Nicholas. How are you, my friend? Let's see. Anyone catch the V8 Supercars peak? I saw the end of that race. Is that like when it was like 3 going into 1? That was pretty epic this weekend. Yeah, was that in Australia? That was pretty epic. McLaren Mercedes says Roblox. It has. Hey, Ewan, I think you need a I'm not sure yet option. There we go. Yes, I guess I could have done that. Yeah, I guess it was more like, are you planning to play it right now? I guess, do you have any preconceived notions about playing it right now? But good point, Dominic. Roblox, is McLaren, Mercedes, Verstappen, Antonelli, Sainz, Lawson, Alonso good? Yes, if that's what you can get to. That is not bad at all. Headed to Coda this weekend, says Carlos. Very jealous. Rebecca's in the chat. What is up, Rebecca? Bernard says, LOL, it'd be me. Oh, well, that is you. Yes. Well, then I don't know. Sorry. I think I reached out to you then, Bernards. I'm not sure if you saw that message on Patreon then. So let me know, and I will do better. I will get you set up there. Let me know if you're having trouble joining Discord. It is supposed to automatically happen whenever you sign up for the Patreon, but maybe it's having a little bit of a bug. So I'll check that out, and I will improve that experience for you. I appreciate you joining the channel, being the first one. So thank you, Benots. I didn't put that together, actually. I should have, but I did not put that together. What's your opinion on saving the 3x chip for Qatar Sprint to edge out the driver of the day if there's a championship winner? I would say that saving it for Qatar does put a little bit of extra pressure on yourself to kind of get it right with 2 races to go, but it's the same kind of pressure. Like, it is 2 races to go, so maybe something happens, but it's almost like I'm maybe more inclined to wait until Qatar, just because I kind of like it being the second to last race of the season. And then it's like, okay, I'm really far away from my goals here. I need to take a punt. And having that kind of powerful of a chip with 2 races to go is quite nice. However, if the opportunity does arise to play it in Coda this weekend, and I think it's the right opportunity to play that, I will play it. I've been talking about it a little bit in my team selection. So like the obvious moves from here, Piastri and Ferrari out to Verstappen and Mercedes. However, I watched Fan Amps or the Fantasy Formula with Adam and Zach earlier today, and it was weird. I was thinking about this earlier at work today, and then I watched their episode on my lunch break, and I was like, okay, like we're on the same kind of path here. So another option for me is to take a hit. I have to take a hit for this to work, but go Verstappen Piastri and then double Alpine on a sprint weekend, which could be double Alpine. But if I was in this kind of lineup, I'm thinking about extra DRS boost. You got Verstappen, who's the driver in form right now. And I'm hoping that this unleashes Oscar Piastri on the F1 grid. He's been playing nicey. He's been letting Lando go past. He's been getting kind of, I'm not really into all the conspiracy theories like the Lando clan versus the Oscar clan and like everyone's kind of hating on each other and stuff. I don't think that's like really positive for like the F1 community, but that is just how kind of online that stuff is. But I think if Oscar really is this like cold-blooded killer that a lot of us think he is, and he's just hit a little bit of a rough patch, that I think elbows out, knives out will be coming from the Australian driver this weekend. And I think I'd probably back him over Lando. We've seen Lando get a little squeamish during a championship fight. So this lineup here, Verstappen, Piastri, this could be golden. Now, there is a way that eventually I could afford this in Qatar or in Brazil if it's somehow not raining there and it wouldn't be for a hit, but this feels like a pretty good opportunity. The only thing I don't love about this is Mercedes, and I was talking about this in the comments with someone on my team selection video earlier, and he was like, why are you still on Ferrari? And it's not that I'm not still on Ferrari. I don't want to be on Ferrari, but it's almost like there's not a better option available. Like there was in Singapore, right? Mercedes did well, Red Bull did well. They did better than Ferrari. Ferrari obviously has problems. This lift and coast thing is a really, really big deal. Like the heat should help them in Austin, but is it gonna, like, the car doesn't have any upgrades. Red Bull has kind of said that they are still developing this car a tiny bit as they use it as a way to like learn their processes where they've gone wrong between like this second half of 2024 and this point in the season in 2025. They're almost like upgrading it, making sure that they can get the data read correctly. Like Newey's gone, Wheatley's gone. Like they've had some key parts that have left the team, so they're still trying to figure out how to kind of get data and help their car go forward. So I think that's a reason that they're going with this. Also, Mercedes has this Flexi Wing upgrade that has come out of nowhere that like rocked the world in Singapore. So, but it seems like it was legal. So, and it all culminates, there we go, in the fact that we only have one free practice session and the sprint quali. It's like, that's the one thing about playing your chips on a sprint weekend. It's like there's so little data to go off of that it is quite nerve-wracking to commit one of the more powerful chips in the game to a sprint weekend when you don't have it like for certain that this team is going to be better than that team and stuff like that. I expect McLaren to do very well here, but Max is just like so on the ball right now. It's crazy. All right, get back to the chat after I'm over here. Let's see. I just actually remembered to join the Discord. Sorry, says Benads. Where'd you go? As well, I can swap from Patreon to YouTube. Yeah, whatever you need. Yes. Just let me know, Benads. We'll figure it out. I voted yes to 3 DRS. Depends on how things look after FP and quali practice. Let's see. Ari Venter says 1691. Hi there, Ewan. Congrats again on your anniversary. 8 years or is it 9? It is 9 years. 9 years. Juice. That's crazy. Got married in Estes Park, Colorado 9 years ago. So, wowza. I have 28.8 million. The first message was a mistype. Sorry. No, that's all good. Roblox, no worries. I think I think Verstappen, Antonelli, Sainz, Lawson, Alonso, that's all good. I did see on the fantasy formula they were saying that Alonso has actually had a pretty bad track record around Coda, but he is on for a quite easy price rise, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. V-Carb has an interesting livery this week. You know what, Sammy? You read my mind because I was literally looking at that right before we came on here. So I mean, I get the big news coming out of F1 today is that George Russell and Kimi Antonelli have been confirmed to drive for Mercedes in 2026. Toto Wolff saying like it was only a matter of time. So, I mean, could have done that a little bit easier, but or a little bit shorter. Let's Go Racing Texas style, says Oracle Red Bull Racing. So does that mean we're getting a different Red Bull livery this weekend? But I'm not gonna lie. I'm digging this shirt. This shirt, it looks good. We'll ignore the comment on the right-hand side there. But yeah, Racing Bulls Loaded for the US Grand Prix here. Like, I'm slowly turning into, like, I don't really have like a pure driver that I love, but I think Isaac Hadjar is the man for me. And I think I'm just going to become a Hadjar fan and like follow him his whole career. It's maybe not as hip as like, I mean, I know he has the podium in Zandvoort and stuff like that, but like if we get a driver shirt in this, like, I don't know, it's so obscene that I could see myself easily going with that. So, is that crazy to kind of get one of those? I don't know, but yeah, Racing Bulls, here it is. Is it supposed to be like fall leaves or is it fire? I don't know. That's kind of confusing. But yeah, Visa Cash App Racing Bulls F1 team has dropped this. So we will yeah, not bad at all. Oh, that's like my shirt. I think this is my shirt right here. That's that picture right there. That's my shirt. But yes, so really just George Russell going with that. And then the Visa Cash App livery. If you want to comment, I believe you have to subscribe. And I'm trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the season, y'all. So that means that every race from now until the end of the season, I need to pick up 50 subscribers. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell your distant high school friends that you don't talk to anymore. Sign up, hit that subscribe button. For F1 Fantasy Pole Position so we can hit 4,000 subs by the end of the season. That would be fantabby-doozy. It's neck and neck right now. 50% yes, 50% no. Not bad at all. So you guys are doing quite well. I don't know why this is doing. Hold on. Let's see here. All right. So, I will give that a couple more minutes and then we will go on to another one. The big question, Verstappen plus Russell versus Norris/Piastri plus Leclerc. Man, I don't know if I can trust Ferrari. I know I have them literally in this squad right here and I'm thinking about going with like, but it's so bad. Singapore was really bad. It was like eye-openingly bad for Ferrari. Like, let's go over here. So, all right, let's go last 5 races. Ferrari was 4th, Ferrari was last, Ferrari was 2nd. Yeah. Ferrari was 5th, and Ferrari was 4th. So how many times has Ferrari 2nd in Spa, 2nd in... So it's been a minute. Like, I mean, Ferrari was consistently the 2nd best constructor, all right? But now we're looking at Hungary, Zandvoort, Monza, where they bring it. So outside of their home race, where Ferrari usually brings a very strong effort, they have not been delivering the goods. Mercedes, Red Bull, Mercedes. So, I mean, even Mercedes is just kind of putting it to them right now in F1 Fantasy. So, Verstappen plus Russell is very safe, and it's a very nice team that a lot of people wildcarded into for Singapore. I know Formula Fantasy Hub did it and Porsche F1 did it, so it went swimmingly well for them. They shot up the world rankings, so great job by them. And it is very tempting for me to just kind of follow their lead, but a little bit of me doesn't... I don't like playing that way. So it's almost like it's a good plan, and I'm jealous of it, but then there's like part of me that's like, well, then why would I do the same thing as that? This like argument fetch almost as a golden retriever for me. The thing that I'm considering is, so I have 2 free transfers, this Verstappen and Mercedes in for Piastri, and Ferrari is an easy move, but this 2 million that's burning a hole in my pocket here does tempt me to take a hit and bring out Pierre Gasly and use that money to get to a Liam Lawson or a Gabriel Bortoleto. Those would be my 2 choices. I don't necessarily think Sauber are going to be bad this weekend. I think they could be okay. And if, like, where's Lawson here? So, like, over the last 5 races, let's do some loosey-goosey math here. So 43 points for Gabriel Bortoleto and 2026, 36 points for Liam Lawson. So while Liam Lawson is on for a little bit of an easier price rise this weekend, Bortoleto has the ability to, I think he has the ability to at least get to these 11 points in a sprint weekend. So I wouldn't be too scared of him, but it might just be the sensible way to go with Lawson. But then double Racing Bulls, I don't know. So I could also just keep Gasly because he is a floor play, which is nice. Lawson, it's really, I would expect him to go up 0.6, which is nice. Because then, I mean, I wouldn't catch Fernando Alonso, but there could be a world where maybe you can pivot into Ollie Behrman or even like an Esteban Ocon if things go quite well for you this week, if you want to keep like kind of building budget up and up and up. So not bad at all. But for me right now, I think it would be Verstappen versus Russell, Ari Venter 1691. Hopefully that was a very rambly way of going about that. Okay, Bernard says, I had to join Discord manually just now, but to be fair, I was setting up a new laptop and didn't have the app installed. Plus, I actually use a different email for it. Okay, cool. I will make sure to work on that over the next couple of days, Bernard. Appreciate that. Thank you for letting me know. Could Ferrari be back in play? They could be, and then I'd feel like an idiot for going off of them. So that's the way where I can, like, there was another way here. That wasn't it. It was, I think it was Mercedes, and then I can't remember. I had another team in my team selection, but I've already forgotten it. But I'd need to see something pretty epic from them in FP1 and sprint qualifying to be back on the board for them. Russell and Antonelli confirmed for next year. Yes, sir. How are you seeing Colapinto winning the head-to-head against Gasly 4 of the last 5 races? Like, that is a fact, but I still kind of refuse to trust Franco Colapinto. I'm just not going to do it. I can't. Like, the Alpine is so bad. I don't really rate Colapinto that much as a driver. So I think if I'm going to go down with the Alpine ship, it's going to be Pierre Gasly. Like, he's shown us that he can pull out a result when it's there, like Silverstone, Bahrain, he did pretty well. I mean, we talk about Brazil last year. So when the opportunity arises for the Alpine to do quite well, Pierre Gasly gets the most out of it. I'm not sure right now. He's just kind of twiddling his thumbs and testing out the car for 2026 and just hoping that the team can figure out some stuff. Whereas Colapinto kind of knows that he's driving for his seat next season. I guess right now it's between him and Paul Aron, their reserve driver, but Flavio Brigatore could change his mind tomorrow, and like that would be not surprising in the slightest. So it wouldn't be worth the switch for me, but if you are pivoting into a driver where you need an Alpine asset, then I guess you could go with Colapinto just based on the form, but I would just be far more comfortable with Pierre Gasly. As you can see right now, he's in my team. Good day, sir, says Fraser. Good day, Fraser. How are you? Carla says, have a lower budget, 125.2. What transfers would you suggest? I have 3 transfers. Team is McLaren, Red Bull, Piastri, Albon, Bortoleto, Sainz, Hadjar. So Kimi Antonelli is on the table for you right there. It's like a 4A light version, which is what we were talking about all those weeks ago, Carlos. So getting Antonelli in is a pretty nice option. I mean, what does he need this week? 2 and 16. If that Mercedes is up to snuff, he's going to get that good price rise, and if he can deliver. So that's not a bad option at all. I think that would be kind of your route into getting the 4A. So, but how much money do you need to go from Antonelli or Albon to Antonelli? Sorry. 2.3 million. So, I mean, that Red Bull to Mercedes move is right there for you as well. Or Bortoletto down to an Alpine asset would help you out there as well. Let's see. I have a bit of a conspiracy theory where Lewis will be driving on Plan C from the movie. I'm a drama queen. Okay, I love some spicy too. Plan C is for combat. Yeah. Thanks F1 the movie. Like, appreciate that. All right, so 53% of y'all have said yes, you plan to play the extra DRS chip in Coda, and 47% of y'all have said no. So that's pretty neck and neck. Not bad at all. All right. What's the next poll? What's the next poll gonna be? Let's see if I can. Yeah, there we go. All right, end poll. So yes wins 52% to 48%. Going to start a new poll now. Who gains more points in? I feel like there's a little bit of Lando dismissiveness going on in the F1 community right now, so we'll see how this goes. But who gains more points in the World Drivers' Championship this weekend? So total points, not like on someone, like Max will gain more points on Oscar. Just who gets the most points this weekend? Sammy's hitting me with the $3 Australian super chat, so thank you, Sammy. I really appreciate that. That is always welcome. So thank you, Sammy. All right, let's get back into the chat here. I'm kind of having some long-winded answers. I'm still a little bit jet lagged. We just got back from South Korea for our anniversary. So yeah, I'm operating. I think my body thinks it's about 4 a.m. in the morning right now. So that's great. So we'll see. Roblox, think McLaren, Ferrari, Verstappen, and Russell you should have. Okay, then. I appreciate the heads up, Roblox. Yes. Do you think they will finally properly reduce the penalty for DNFs next year? My 2X driver has DNF 3 times this year, and the point swing is absolutely insane. Oh my goodness, Fraser. That is very rough. I don't think that they'll do it for the race, for like the Sunday races, but I really hope they do it for sprint races, like -10. Like, it has to be a -10 for sprint races, -5 even. Like, there's just so little points on offer for a sprint race in F1 Fantasy in particular that it had like -10 at a minimum for next year. I'd even go lower if you had to. But I'd also I guess the problem is you can't introduce points for sprint qualifying without just making the deadline after FP1 for sprints. So that's something we need to consider as well. But I would give points 1 through 15 for quali. So 15 points for the pole sitter, 10, 9, or 15, 14, 13, all the way down to 15th. Because part of the game that I don't love so much, but it is a strategy, is like you actively want your driver, your bad drivers, your tier B drivers to get knocked out in Q1. So they can overtake more. You're like, oh, that's great. Like, oh, Lando Norris gets knocked out. Like in Q1, now he's gonna like bomb up the field. But you know, if Oscar Piastri scores 15 points on Saturday, like that's kind of a big deal. So that helps quite a lot. That would kind of offset people maybe like hoping that their drivers get knocked out in Q1. But yeah, I hope the sprint, at least for DNF, gets chopped to -10 and maybe like DNF to -15 in the race, because like you said, it is a huge penalty. It is very not so fun. Cherrybrook5 says, hey, finally caught a live one. Hey, thank you, Cherrybrook. Ursoda says, congrats, thank you. Roblox says, how do you know what the other Tier B drivers and Tier B drivers need to go up by 0.3 and 0.6 for the USA in the next Grand Prix after that? So that is some loosey-goosey math. That is some red flag math by me, Roblox. But essentially what I do is I go into the budget builder here, which was taught to me by the big APO. I don't know if he's here tonight, but he usually chimes in. So what I go as like, I'll go here and then I find their average score and then I like type that in. So I like say Carlos Sainz over the last 3 races, I think he scored 14 points. So you do 14 points there and then like that would be enough for him to go up. And then you change his thing to 6.9. And then that tells me what he needs in Mexico. So I do it all manually. So that's kind of how I do it. I'm sure there's like a more automated way to go about it. I think there's someone in the F1 Fantasy Tools Discord that actually posts that chart and it goes quite well. But that's kind of how I do it for my team selection videos. Wishing the pecking order was clear already 3x. Yes, I wish I would know that too. I think livery is turtles. That's turtles? Are we sure? Oh wait, is the livery turtles, is that like a phrase that I should know? Oh god, you guys are going to start calling me old again. Nicholas says the second construction problem says Mercedes, the track is hot, their tires and power units might overheat. Ferrari, Lico, brake issues, plank wear threat. Red Bull has only one driver. Exactly. So like that's the problem. Like I wish even like a tier B driver or constructor would show up because that would be fantastic. Like if you could go Ferrari all the way to like a Racing Bulls and then you just be left with 24.6. So I mean you need to go down a little bit further, but like how far could we go? Like I guess you'd have to go to Sauber and then you'd have 28.1 million. Well, you know what I mean. But it'd be nice if a tier B driver kind of or tier B constructor kind of just showed up and like did us the favor. Roblox, thank you for the compliment. Thank you, Roblox. That was very nice. Dominic says, traveled from the UK to COTA with my wife for our first overseas Grand Prix last year, getting proper FOMO right now. Oh, yeah, that must be epic. I'm from Texas, and I was in Texas when COTA was first popping off, and I regret not going now because I wish I could go. Although that Texas heat is like hits way different. Like it's brutal over there. So, yeah, but it's a great track. It's a modern classic. A lot of people call it that. And yeah, I want to go one day. So I'll make sure, but I'm glad you got to go last year. Last year was a good year too. Benaz says, yes, everyone, make sure you subscribe and join the membership or Patreon. 2026 is going to be fun. Yes. 2026 is going to be awesome. I'm trying to think. So I think the first video of the exclusive members only YouTube series will be coming out probably the week after the Mexico Grand Prix. So I'll be looking forward to that during the little break that we've got between Mexico and Brazil. Let's see here. Let's see. Charbrook says, Lando versus Max for 3x and drop Hadjar for Alonso. I don't know if you need to drop Hadjar for Alonso necessarily. Like I said, on the Fantasy Formula today that I watched, Adam and Zach were talking about how, like, I think Alonso has had 2 DNFs in the first 3 sprint races this season, and he has 7 DNFs at COTA in total. And he also had 6 DNFs at COTA. And he also had like 7 DNFs at Monza and then DNF'd again this year. So, I mean, I don't think that's predictive, but it is kind of weird. And it seems to be kind of going down that route. So maybe Alonso is a good budget builder, but he is maybe not like the best option. And I think Hadjar is just a solid option. I expect him to score quite well, but we'll see what happens with FP1 and the sprint qualifying. So if you guys didn't watch the team selection video yet, or you didn't watch it all the way through, I was trying to explain what my content plan will be once that happens. So sprint qualifying for me happens from 11:30 p.m. until like 15 minutes past midnight. So I'm not going to do a final thoughts video until like a few hours after that. I'm going to go get some sleep, put my thoughts together, and then I'll quickly release a final thoughts video like early on Saturday morning for you guys to watch. But then I'll also have a 2-hour deadline live stream. So hopefully you guys can join me there. We'll get this subscriber count boosted up past the 3,750 mark, and we'll get lots of likes. There's like 50 of you guys liking right or watching right now, and 14 likes, so we can get that boosted up, trying to get 150 likes on every video this for the remainder of the season. I know live streams are a little bit different, so I'll let it slide this time, but obviously on all pre-recorded videos, 150 likes is always the goal. Dominic says, I can afford triple McLaren, but would have to do double Alpine. Think I'd rather build more budget, try and get triple McLaren plus better B tier drivers for Qatar. Don't mind that at all. Yeah, not bad. That's a good plan, Dominic. Can you do a vote for everyone to vote if you are the best YouTuber ever? Oh, thank you, Tommy. I appreciate that. I know, but I'm not going to do that. That's a little too self-indulgent for me. Who gains more points in the World Drivers' Championship this weekend? Max at 50%, Oscar at 38%, and Lando at 12%. See, the Lando hate, it's real. People don't like Lando anymore. If I already have McLaren plus Red Bull, should I swap Red Bull to Mercedes or just keep it as is? That's a great question, Charbrook. I don't know. Unfortunately, we're not going to know that answer until Sunday night. But I think that is a little bit of a sideways move. I think Max has the biggest ceiling out of him, George, and Kimi Antonelli. I'm not even counting Yuki Tsunoda in this. So that will boost it up. Also, he loves this track. So I'm anticipating him doing quite well here, no matter what happens. And then we'll see about George and Mercedes. Like, is this new like front wing flexi wing thing really gonna like make them the be all end all of it? If it is, then Mercedes will be better, but it feels a little bit sideways unless you like desperately need that budget to get away from like Alpine or an asset that's definitely gonna fall. Peachy, it's exciting not knowing who will win this weekend. I am planning on 3x Verstappen, 2x Piastri, then wildcard next week. Oof, that is nice. That is very, very nice. That's an excellent use of the wildcard as well. Like, kind of take a punt, and then next week, if it doesn't go all that well this week, you can wildcard and fix your team and set it up for the final 5 races. Steve AFC says, hi, you and money and transfers no object. Which 2 out of 4 do you choose out of Behrman, Alonso, Hadjar, and Bortoleto? So I have like a sneaky feeling that Behrman's going to do quite well this weekend. I think I mentioned it a little bit in my team selection video. Haas always kind of bring a big update to Coda because it's their home Grand Prix. The last year where Haas is like kind of the be all end all when it comes to American motorsport in F1, as Cadillac is joining next year. So I think I'd probably rank them. For me, I would go Hadjar, Behrman, Alonso, Bortoleto. That's my ranking right now. So I think Hadjar and Behrman, I kind of have sneaky feelings about them that they'll do quite well this weekend. Sammy, the OG 112 says Lando will cook. Sick Putt says triple Mercedes, Red Bull, Verstappen, Alonso, Colapinto. What do you think? Yeah, that's pretty nice. Antonelli, that's a pretty nice budget. I wonder, I'm trying to think if you can like redistribute the budget a little bit. Like if you went Antonelli to Albon, could you get Colapinto up to Lawson? I don't know how that would work. 2.3, I mean, it would work, but it's maybe like a little bit of a unnecessary transfer, I guess. G. Elford-L7N says, gut feeling on Piastri with Mercedes versus Russell with Red Bull, Max and McLaren, the other 2As and the 4A for what it's worth. I like that Piastri and Mercedes. Yeah, that's nice. I kind of think that Piastri will be the second best driver in F1 Fantasy this weekend behind Verstappen, so I like that quite a bit. Neville says, congrats on the anniversary. Chasing a mini league. I have McLaren, Ferrari, Verstappen, Albon, Hadjar, Bortoleto, Sainz, and 2 free transfers. Leader has an 80-point lead and has McLaren, Mercedes, Verstappen, Albon, Hadjar, Bortoleto, Sainz. What's the play? $132 million budget. So you guys essentially... so you have Ferrari. So, man, you need to get different, but you don't need to get different yet. But I'd love for you to maybe go from Verstappen or Ferrari to like Red Bull or Mercedes, and then go Albon to Antonelli to get a little bit different there. Hadjar, Bortoleto, Sainz, I don't think you really need to change those. I mean, your opponent has them as well, so not bad at all. But yeah, maybe try for Ferrari down to Red Bull or Mercedes, and then switch Albon to Antonelli. So not bad at all. But you should be able to afford that for a lineup at 132 million. But I guess with 2 free transfers, it's a little bit tricky. You don't want to give up any more points to that rival there. Soto says, I love the Max storyline, but feel that McLaren overheating package will excel in Coda since it contrasts with Singapore/Baku overtaking is easy. Not bad at all. With McLaren Ferrari, you have 4 great drivers in a good car. You have Russell, who's the better Mercedes, and Verstappen, who is the better Red Bull driver too. Yeah, that's yeah. That's a great point, Tommy. Good shout. Good shout there. So that would be, yeah, Verstappen. Yeah, I got a lot to think about. It's gonna be interesting. Peachy says, happy belated anniversary, church 9 years. Thank you, Peachy. Appreciate that. My league is playing no Max, no Red Bull racing. I'm the leader right now. I'm going to get rid of that rule if I win. Yeah, I mean, especially next year, it'll be pretty interesting. I think Formula Fantasy Hub, Rob was saying that he wouldn't be surprised if George Russell is one of the more popular 2X drivers to begin the year, because it seems like the rumors are that Mercedes has crushed this upcoming regulations and their power unit is going to be overpowering. So, like, sounds like Russell could be in with a shout of a World Drivers Championship next season. But I mean, if McLaren also has that same power unit, I would expect them to be quite strong as well. But yeah, I think Max will be almost like a strange differential in F1 Fantasy next season. Dankov says, hi, who do you think it's better to drop, Hadjar or Bortoleto? Feels like Hadjar could give slightly more points, but Gabby has more chance not to decrease by 0.6. I think I'd go Hadjar at this point in the season, Dankov. Chris D9949 says, smiley face. I can see the V-carb livery being images of turkeys, not turtle. Don't trust my eyesight, although astigmatism. Yeah, I don't know what this is. I thought it was fire. Is it? Like, what is it? Oh. Like, open image in new tab and just zoom in. Is it leaves? Is it like, is it fire? It kind of looks like fire on the car, but then leaves on the shirt. It might be a little bit too absurd for me to go with that. That's kind of actually pretty crazy. So, but I think I'm going to become a Hadjar follower. I think that I've been feeling that most of the season, but I think it's coming into the head, the end of the line for me. So I think I'm just going to be a Hadjar guy. Carlos says, do you think it's worth a -10 for McLaren, Mercedes, Verstappen, Antonelli, Gasly, Sainz, Hadjar? I guess it depends what you're moving from, Carlos. Sorry, that's kind of a bit of a hedgy answer, but that's a pretty strong lineup, so I like that a lot. I could run triple McLaren with 2 Alpine and Sainz, McLaren, Mercedes, but I'm just too worried about the McLaren boys taking each other out. So prob just switch Hadjar, Bortoleto for Sainz, Alonso with Verstappen, Piastri, Gasly, McLaren, Mercedes for safer play. I love that. Love that, Rebecca. That's great. Went to Terry Black's barbecue when we went to Coda last year. Oscar Piastri sat in the same seat I did when he went there earlier. Great minds think alike. Wow. That's awesome. I'm jealous. Have you ever washed those trousers or those pants? You went to America, so you call them pants now, obviously. Ed Lova says, what's the highest budget that you guys have seen so far? And then Fraser, who I think they were rocking the highest budget I had seen so far this season. So Fraser, let us know your budget in the comments below. But he comes in saying, those 3 DNFs on my 2X drivers have totaled roughly a 390-point swing, which I think is extremely harsh. I feel like negative points shouldn't be multiplied. Oh, maybe that's a good shout. Maybe 2X drivers don't get negative or double negative points. I don't mind that at all. Ocon versus Hulk. Oof, that is rough. Tony Benson 9073. I think I'd go Ocon just because Haas are bringing upgrades, but I think Sauber are also bringing upgrades. So, man, I don't really like either of them, but maybe Ocon. Sick putts. Hi, I can wildcard to Mercedes, Red Bull, Verstappen, Russell, Antonelli, Alonso, Colapinto. Is it worth it thinking McLaren is taking time bomb? I mean, if you are way behind in a mini league or you are way behind your goals when it comes to where you want to be overall in the world ranking, then that is a punt and a half to take. Mercedes, Red Bull, Verstappen, Russell, Antonelli, triple Mercedes, double Red Bull, Alonso, Colapinto. Like, holy moly. That's like something I would do in the last race, but it could work out gangbusters. That'd be amazing. Charbrook says, I wonder who else on here takes screenshots of their theoretical teams before locking them in for the weekend. I actually don't know where my phone is, but if I had it, I would just show you, Charbrook, the embarrassing amount of F1 fantasy. Like I just be here scrolling for days. Like usually I try to go through like a little bit of a cleanse every now and then, just so like if my wife ever looks at my phone and she's like, "There's no pictures of me in here, but there's pictures of 5 guys and 2 cars on your screen a lot." So that would be a little bit worrying. But yeah, usually I cleanse it out like 2 or 3 times a year. But if I knew where my phone was, I'd show you guys that I have a lot of pictures in there of my theoretical teams. Sammy, the OG112 says, my league rival and I both have autopilot and 3X, so should I just play the chips on opposite weeks when he doesn't play a chip, or ignore him, and if it looks good, I send it? Ignore him and send it, Sammy. You play your game, and hopefully it'll all work out for you. Leaves on fire. Yeah, maybe. If only Bortoleto had gotten 3 more points in Singapore, I could afford McLaren, Ferrari, Max, Russell, Sainz, Lawson, Alonso, but I'm 0.3 million off. If only Gabby would stop qualifying around the top 10 and drop back. Ugh, I know. But that is a really nice lineup. So hopefully you'll have that for Mexico, Nicholas. James Clancy, 2734. Hey, you, and first off, congrats on the anniversary. Thank you, James. I have 130.6 in budget with 2 transfers and a team of Piastri, Albon, Bortoleto, Hadjar, Verstappen with McLaren and VCarb, and tried to work things out without taking a negative 10. Whew. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to go into this lineup here. Let's see here. So you have Piastri, Albon, Bortoleto, McLaren, and VCarb. I think I have 134 in the bank. So let's build this team here. James Clancy, since you were so nice in wishing me a happy anniversary, really appreciate that. All right, so Hadjar, Bortoleto, and then who else did you have? Oh, Verstappen. Just the casual Max Verstappen in your lineup with VCarb. All right, so man, that is not fun. Okay, so Albon down to an Alpine asset. What does that leave you with? 11.9 million. So that still leaves you... what? Where are you at? So 1.4 million short. That is not fun. And you don't want to take a negative 10. So Albon... let's see. Oh, but you have a little bit less than what I would have there. So, Albon and Racing Bulls. So that means, okay, so yeah. So this is 130.4 million. So you have 0.2 in the bank. So you really need to... you could go Piastri to Russell and then Albon to Antonelli. I don't love that, but it's not the worst option in the world. Or you could go full send and go Bortoleto down to an Alpine asset and then maybe bring in Lando. That's a little tricky, actually, James, but it's a good question. I appreciate it. Thoughts on Piastri, Sainz, Bortoleto, Hadjar, Gasly, McLaren, Mercedes, maxed out budget. Piastri, Sainz, Bortoleto, Hadjar, Gasly. That's a great lineup. If that's what you got to do, can you get anywhere else? You can't get to Antonelli with a lineup like that. You could maybe can you do like Bortoleto? I guess if you want to get different, you could go Bortoleto. That's 1.6. So Bortoleto down to Colapinto. You're 0.2 short. So you need to go Signs down to Bortoleto, or Signs down to Colapinto, and then you could go Piastri up to Verstappen if you have to. I'm on 137.3 million budget, says Nicholas. There we go. Fraser says 138.6 million. Okay, there we go. So yeah, we got some big budgets in here, guys, and I cannot lie. 138.6 million current team: McLaren, Mercedes, Verstappen, 2x Piastri, Behrman, Sainz, Hadjar. Might not make any changes for next race, or one change Hadjar to Alonso. Tommy says, how? They're just excellent budget builders, Tommy. Simon says, hi, Ewan. Really enjoying streaming. Thanks for all you do. I'm playing Unlimited this week. What would you see as the best lineup for this week? Triple McLaren, Max, George, Charles, and then maybe I'd go Red Bull. Double Red Bull, triple McLaren, George, and Leclerc. I think that is where I would go. I think that's very good. Tommy says, happy anniversary. Hope you're having a good day. We did, Tommy. We kept it kind of chill this year. Usually we like to travel on our anniversary, but we were unable to do that. It was so much cheaper to go to South Korea last week than this week. I think they had like a national holiday for like 6 straight days. So I guess they were like, oh, who would want to come to South Korea? Well, we did. Cherrybrook says, but a -10 would not be worth it if you're not into a mini league and trying to build up budget and line up for the succeeding races, right? Yeah, I think it would, yes, but it would be worth it. Yeah, I think I would take a -10 if it sets you up for future races, Cherrybrook. I think so. What does get good mean? It's just a joke, Tommy. Just budget building has been very big this season. Edlova 1683 says, hey, Ewan, what changes would you make? Current team Verstappen 2x, Albon, Sainz, Bortoleto, Hadjar, McLaren, and Ferrari with 135.4, 2 transfers available, 3,918 total points. Ooh. So you have a pretty loaded B tier there with Albon, Sainz, Bortoleto, Hadjar. So you're probably going to have to take money out of that. You can get to the 4A lineup, but you have to take a hit there, Edlova 1683. I mean, Albon and Hadjar and Ferrari out, and you could probably bring in like Piastri, Mercedes, and an Alpine asset. I think that would work out quite well for you. Sammy says, isn't it fall in the US right now? Orange leaves on the night sky, black background, or they pulled the trigger on the Halloween livery a bit early? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's very confusing. It kind of looks like leaves. I think it looks like fire on the car, but then leaves on the shirt. Or maybe I just don't get it at all. So I don't know. But did Red Bull release anything either? When someone asks, okay. But yeah, maybe we'll get an explanation later on their social media. Are you targeting 3x for this weekend? Asks Bobby.K. I think so, but it's going to probably take a hit for me to get into it. Like this lineup here, the Max and Mercedes, like I don't know if I love that lineup for 3x and then like do Verstappen. Oh, look at that. It just changed it for me. Thanks. Weird. I'd have to see Russell do really well in sprint quali and free practice 1 to kind of get on board with that as a 3x. But if I went a slightly different route here, oh my goodness, that jet lag, it's killing me. and I could bring in Verstappen and Mercedes, where I bring out, if I could bring in that and then go double Alpine. Now, this is what I'm talking about with a 3X lineup. Like Verstappen with the 3X, Piastri with the 2X, McLaren and Mercedes. Just ignore Ferrari. Get the Ferrari pain out of my life in F1 Fantasy for a whole weekend. The only qualms I would have with this lineup is it's a little inflexible for future races. Like, I'd be looking at like bringing Piastri down to Russell for Mexico, but Mercedes has had problems in Mexico in previous years, and then that would give me enough budget. Another thing that's okay with it though is like Colapinto and Gasly. I can't lose budget with this squad. I mean, Piastri likely to go down actually, so I'd lose money there, but like they can't cost me any budget. Sainz is probably going to go up a little bit, so that would leave me with, like, if Sainz goes up to 6.9, Bortoleto close to rising. I think what's he like, 11 or 16. So then I could kind of go down to Gabby Bortz and get like a 0.6 rise, but it kind of would lock me into this team for a little bit, like a long-term thing, unless I went Piastri to like a Ferrari asset or George Russell in future races. But that would be a hit that would be worth it for me to kind of get Piastri and Verstappen in. Ditching Piastri for Russell last week after he barged into an Azerbaijan wall helped, says Nicholas. Yes, great call by you. DNF's always a penalty as as other driver scores are inflated. I do -10 instead of -20. Also, I'd only penalize driver if crash, constructor if breakdown, plus flat 0 if innocently crashed into. Yeah, not bad. Also, fastest lap has no place in the game when drivers have no incentive. Yeah, if fastest lap is not part of F1, I'm not sure why it's a part of the game, but it is what it is. There are some rule changes that like I would see, but we can talk about that another day. You know what I need to do? I need to kind of update you guys on the league. Where's the league? Where did the league go? Pinned leagues. So here we go. Here's the top 5 over here. Let's Geo. George Russell is a wiener. Great success. Slowpoke Racing 2 and Alpha Team MB all in the top 5. Great job by you guys. Crushing it this season. Tommy says, when I was messing about on F1 Fantasy and I put every future driver at 4 points, I will put everyone who is more than need more than 20. Whoa. Yes. It kind of depends on how you work it in there. Maybe we're not supposed to get it, says Peachy. Not bad a call at all. It's like distorted bulls. I see bulls sometimes. Huh. Okay. Let's see. Benod's. Verstappen, Russell, Sainz, Hadjar, Bortoleto, McLaren, Mercedes is possible with 135 budget. It may be where I end up. I like that. Verstappen, Russell, Sainz, Hadjar, Bortoleto. I'm jealous of that. Alonso versus Sainz. I think I'd lean Sainz right now, Ryan. Jared Brooks says, seems Mercedes looks like a better long-term hold for the rest of the season. Leclerc seems to be a compelling choice for Coda, though, just based on vibes and nothing else. I know. It's very tough. It's very tough. So in this poll right now, we've got Max is leading. 50% of the vote, Oscar at 36%, and Lando at 14%. I'm going to end that one there. So yeah, you guys seem to think that Max Verstappen is going to gain some points in the World Drivers' Championship this weekend. I cannot blame you at all. I'm kind of feeling the same myself. So I guess to kind of round out the stream, I'd say that the 2 routes I'm looking at right now, as of Wednesday evening at 9:25 Germany time, are Piastri and Ferrari out for Verstappen and Mercedes. But there's another route and possibly a hit with this team to get out of Alpine altogether and just bring in double Racing Bulls. So that's an option. So I could go with that for either a hit to bring in Lawson for Gasly or just keep Gasly. So we can do that. And then let's see. Or my second route that I'm thinking about, which has to have a hit, is Russell, Hadjar, and Ferrari out for Verstappen, Mercedes, and Colapinto. So those are kind of my 2/3 routes so far for this weekend. I'm going to answer these final questions here. Is there an F1 channel what tells you all about F1 Fantasy Tools? Yes, you can actually go to Patreon and F1 Fantasy Tools will have a post there explaining it all. But also, I think if you go to the budget builder, there is information right here, Tommy, right on the screen here, and it tells you everything about the budget builder and how it works. So I would definitely go on there. So f1fantasytools.com/budget-builder. Stefania's 13 saying, feeling good about getting Max early last week. Do we like keeping Piastri, Colapinto, and Gasly on a sprint or Russell with other options? No, I like that. I'm looking at that right now. That's what's on my screen right now, Stefania's. I like it quite a lot. Tommy, I appreciate the compliments, but yeah. Lost Zero Ed OR says, hey man, what do you think to go in USA with Max and Russell, gain some budget, and then swap Russell into Oscar? Yeah, I mean, the other point about Oscar is that he is likely to go down again, and it's not huge difference, but 45 points to avoid a 0.3 drop is quite big. I'm not entirely sure if he has scored that this season. I mean, he probably has at some point. So Piastri, 45, 45, 58 in the Miami sprint, 45, 45. So he's done it a few times, but he needs 46 points to avoid a drop, which he's done once at the Miami Grand Prix. So I guess we need to take that into consideration. And especially with the marginal gains, it could be quite close. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Let's see here. Too much blue, never good, says Sammy. What do you think about Verstappen, Russell, Sainz, Alonso, Hadjar, McLaren, Mercedes? I really like that lineup, Bobby. Yeah, that's a really, really strong lineup. You should have a little bit of all the 4 top teams. I can do that if I go with that. Oh wait, no, there was a route where I could go Piastri and Ferrari. But I mean, I'd have to bring out McLaren for Red Bull there, which I'm probably not going to do that. You just have McLaren, Ferrari, Verstappen, Russell. There we go. Oh wait, yeah, that's how. McLaren, Ferrari, Verstappen, Russell. Yeah, I can't get to that though, Tommy. I wish I could. Tommy likes when I answer his question. I appreciate it. Oscar needs to win on Sunday to do it. Yeah, that's a good point, Nicholas. Oh, well, that was a really quick hour, guys. I really appreciate it. Thanks to everyone for joining the chat. Don't forget to, oh, what's that? Okay, that's not how you do that. So, what am I saying? I'm very jet lagged, but thank you for hanging out this Wednesday night. I really appreciate it. Let's see if that works. There we go. So if you want more loosey-goosey math, you can sign up for the Patreon, just like Bernard's, the coolest person in the world, the first member of the F1 Fantasy Pole Position Patreon/YouTube membership. You can also just subscribe to the YouTube channel. So we're at 3,720 subscribers, looking to get to at least 3,750 by the end of the weekend. And there will also be, final thoughts episode Saturday morning, and then 2-hour deadline live stream on Saturday evening, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, wherever you are watching or listening in the world. But I'm just going to double check the chat one last time, make sure I'm not ignoring anyone's questions. So yeah. www. Not Hadjar, says Tommy. Okay. Nicholas says it's been fun. Appreciate everyone joining the chat and hanging out on a Wednesday night. And if you're watching this on replay, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Always trying to get to 150 likes on every video, but I know that live streams are a little bit different. But once again, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I will be back on Saturday morning, but I will also be tweeting all my thoughts from Free Practice 1 and the sprint qualifying on X. So you can follow me on there. And I'm actually posting on TikTok a little bit more as well. So at F1 Fantasy UN on TikTok and X if you are on either of those platforms. And I will talk to you next time.